Good evening, my name is Garrett, and welcome to The Last Call. Tonight's final drink is from Copper Tier. This is their Lone Star Special Edition Texas Straight Bourbon Whiskey, coming in at a 45% ABV, at least 4-year age statement. So for full disclosure, I did reach out to the company for a review sample. They were kind enough to send this over for us, so just keeping that transparency going. So Copper Tier actually does a lot of sourcing, and right now they're sourcing things directly from Texas for this release. And I've yet to have any bad whiskey from Texas. They know their stuff down there. We do know this is a single barrel option, and we also know a mash bill, which contains 80% corn, 17% rye, and 3% barley. So I'm really excited to share this. So, because more recently I had their cattle drive bourbon, and it blew me out of the water. I was not expecting that whatsoever. So let's get into things. As always, we're going to be trying it 2 different ways. First way, neat, no ice, no water. Second way, we'll add a drop of water, see what changes up. And as always, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hang around for a bit. I'll be putting the Cattle Drive Bourbon review up above and down below, so you can check that out after this video. And if you're interested in what Copper Tier is doing, I will be putting a link to their website as well, so you can go check them out and see what they're offering, or if you can find yourself a bottle. But again, I love Texas whiskey. The notes they can pull across are usually fan-freaking-tastic. But this is a newer release from them, and I don't even know, I didn't even know this was coming. So I love surprises like that. Okay, and again, single-barreled. It's always awesome to see. Beautiful light color, a little darker than straw. Almost amber, but not quite. Well, let's go for notes. Oh. I think they're sourcing this from the same place as the Cattle Drive. So there is this salty mesquite rub on here. And after reviewing the first one, I was like, oh, it's like a curing salt where you put it across something. It's salty and savory, and it's got a mesquite note to it. Oh, that is beautiful. It's got a little bit more brown sugar and vanilla than the Cattle Drive does. A little bit of a pepperiness going on in there as well with that rub. And it's almost got a butteriness to it. Like hot buttered popcorn. Oh, that is so unique. We're definitely going to be doing an A-B comparison between the two as well, so hang around for that. Oh, man. So no sharpness from ABV or anything like that. No youth notes, no off notes on that either. So let's go for a taste. Ooh, yeah. Definitely more corn forward. It tastes like a fresh off the grill ear of corn. Buttery, a little salty, a little savory, but you also get a nice solid oak layer in this one. The brown sugar's there, the vanilla's there. All those notes are really playing very well. A little bit of that wood varnish note that's on there as well. I get that from a lot of craft distilleries. The best way I can always put that one is like a well shellacked antique piece of furniture that's been well kept. That is kind of showing through, but not heavy-handed in that note. I love that mesquite saltiness that comes across. It reminds me of something you'd put across a rack of ribs. Third sip here, get a nice layer of spice, and I'm kind of trying to break it apart here. And you get a little bit of like a clove, and again, that pepperiness is very prominent. That is really good stuff too. Wow. The only thing I would say, it tastes more corn forward than the Cattle Drive bourbon, but it's not a bad corn forward. It gives that buttery, kind of more classic bourbon with that Texas twist on there. Even in the palate finish here, very simple, and it rides off with just a nice layer of oak, that little bit of salty and sweet going on. That is just good. That is just a good, solid Texas bourbon there. Had to go get my dropper. All right, just a little drop of water in there, see what changes up. Never know. Might not change anything, might change a lot. That's why we do this, for the sake of science. Anywho, let's go for notes. Ooh. Yeah, that saltiness is kicked up in there. I love that. I've had several Texas distilleries, and I have yet to ever get this kind of a nose. It again is pink, like either like a pink Himalayan salt or like a curing salt that you put over ribs. It is just beautiful. And the mesquite smokiness, but it's not quite like a smoky element, but it just reminds you of cooking with mesquite. No ABV, no off notes on there with the water. A little more vanilla sweet, maybe a little bit of caramel is showing up now too. You still get that nice layer of corn, and the butteriness is still in there as well. It's just as good. This has that wood varnish note, so the water kind of washed that part away. So you definitely don't get that same antique furniture with that wood shellac over it. All right, let's go for taste. The shellac shows up more on the taste now. There's the saltiness. It is still a really solid bourbon here. You're getting all the classic flavors now, getting more of the oak, vanilla, caramels. That bit of corn butteriness is in there, and it kind of pulls back on that grained corn note that I was getting. Still getting that nice wood shellac on the taste, and then you're kind of left with just a little bit of the spice and a little bit of the pepperiness, and no off notes, nothing metallic at the finish either. I'm gonna go back to the neat one here. That neat version, man. As always, it doesn't matter what you drink or how you drink it, as long as you enjoy it. Both are really good. This, though, that's the star of the show. Go back to here. The good thing is it does hold up with that little drop of water, so it should either do really well with an ice cube or something like in a mixed drink of some sort, but that is still just as good. But I like the neat version better because it's a little more pronounced in those flavors, where in the water version they're a little softer, but they're still coming across and they're still recognizable. All right, let's talk about market price, because we all know market price is market price, and it's always going to vary. So the little bit of research I could find on this bottle, it tends to run in that $60-ish range. So sometimes as low as like, $57, $59, upwards of $63, $65. And to be honest, it's really good. That is just a good example of Texas whiskey. There's nothing wrong with it. Much like the Cattle Dry Bourbon, and I've referred to that one a couple times because it's that good. This is that same kind of level. It has a little more corn notes to it. So if you like a corn-forward whiskey, this is it. But that Texas influence here with that saltiness, the mesquite, the flavors that brings across are unlike any other bottle I've had from anywhere. I love that. And this is coming from somebody that I love scotches, I love bourbons. This is a very unique option out there on the shelves. 100% would recommend pick it up. At $60, I'd have no problems with it. Sub $60, single barreled, great flavors. It's got everything you want, in my opinion, in a good Texas bourbon. And again, if you're interested in Copper Tier or any of the bottlings they're doing right now, check out the link down in the description area below. Go show them some love. So yeah, there you have it, folks. Copper Tiered Lone Star Special Edition Texas Bourbon Whiskey. If you have any questions about the bottle itself, let me know down in the comment section below. I will do my best to answer it. And if you have any specific spirit I should go looking for, also let me know down below. Love doing these reviews and sharing with you the experience at home. And as always, may your last drink of the night be the best one.
I really like it. It might